Number one, direct translations do not exist. Get that shit out your thick skull, okay? Okay, I want water. Yo quiero agua. But that's as direct as it gets, right? Yes, however, when you start constructing complex sentences, good luck out there, okay? For example, before coming home, my mom had wished that I had cleaned the kitchen. Classic, right? Looks kind of simple. However, let's unpack. In the first half, there's already like 3 things that don't translate directly. Antes de venir a casa, de and a are 2 prepositions we wouldn't use in English in that sentence, right? And then venir means come, but in English we say before coming, right? Coming would be viniendo. And basically, when I started to learn Spanish, this shit used to piss me off so much because I'm like, ugh, like that's not how it works in English. And it's like, bitch, this is Spanish. The fuck are you doing? Like, it's a whole different language with its own different rules. And I promise you, the sooner you just accept that for a fact, the sooner your growth is gonna skyrocket. Okay, I promise. And if we look at the second half really quick, mi mamá deseaba que yo hubiera limpiado la cocina. Hubiera limpiado. This is pluscuamperfecto subjuntivo. Okay. This shit does not exist in English, right? So again, another thing that just wouldn't translate because different rules, different grammar. So just remind yourself, direct translations do not exist. We're gonna be starting from scratch and you already be ahead of the curve. Now, speaking of starting from scratch, this shit is hard, okay? If you didn't already know, your ego is gonna be crushed, okay? You're gonna be humbled. When I started learning Spanish, I was like, oh my God, I'm gonna learn like 5 languages in like 5 years, like French, Chinese, Arabic, like I'm literally not interested anymore. No, because it's been like 2 years and I'm still learning this one Spanish. Hello? No, thank you. Like this shit has flogged my yash. Okay? No. Everything from trying to understand nuance, sounding local, this, that, it's just been a lot. Okay? So just know it's gonna take way longer than you imagined. And yeah, maybe it might hurt less. And remember your why, okay? Because that is gonna keep you going when the going gets tough, because it will. My why is I live in Colombia, and just being able to leave my house and go interact with anyone on the street, you know, and really immerse myself in the community, not feel like an outsider, that's a big thing for me. So that's been my motivation for learning Spanish and putting in all the hours, because it definitely pays off when I'm able to like make genuine connections, right? And also I'm a solo traveler and I've been making my way around Latin America. I plan to cross off as many countries as possible. And yeah, just being able to like wander, get lost, and not be worried like, oh my God, would I find my way? Yeah, I will, because I speak Spanish and I can navigate, you know, talk to the people. That's my why. Okay, but you might be different. Like, yo, shorty down the block is from Bolivia and I'm just trying to get to know mamacita. Hey, work, fuck it up, do your thing. Oh my God, like learn some Spanish. Okay, go sweep her off her feet. That's such a valid reason, okay? Or your grandpa on your mom's side is from Nicaragua and yeah, you've always wanted to talk to your homeboy, you know, hear his stories. Learn some Spanish, go talk to your man. You know what I mean? So whatever your motivation is, just remind yourself, and that would help you get through the hard times. Which brings us to number 4. You are going to feel stupid. Practice anyways, okay? Those moments where you are genuinely trying to connect with someone, but like you're fumbling on your words, you're like tripping up, you're feeling dumb, looking stupid. Oof, that is the highway to Spanish speaking heaven. I promise you, okay? Real life conversations will do way more for you than any Duolingo streak could ever, okay? Sorry to Duolingo, she's just not the girl, for real. But yeah, I think like the most humbling part about trying to learn a language is that like internally you're like battling with the world. Like, no, I promise like I'm capable of like expressing my thoughts and my feelings. You really are more than capable. It's just a different language, okay, with its nuance, its context, it's all of that. So remind yourself you're not dumb and just practice anyways, because those are the moments you're gonna remember. Nope, I made that mistake before. So yeah, and also you are going to have a new personality in a new language, so it's all part of it actually. The first time I heard this shit, I was like, that does not even make any sense, but like now it's real, okay? The beautiful thing about languages is that they are so packed with nuance. How many fucking times would you say nuance in one video? The beautiful thing about languages is there's so much like emotional undertone in the words we use or the words we don't use. And in your native tongue, you might have a certain aura to you when you're trying to like communicate something. So for example, in English, I would say something like, he didn't even call me, but he came anyways. That even has this energy of like, it would have been fucking nice if he called me. Like, just, you know, but like, you don't want to sound too emotional, so you just like throw it away like he didn't even call me. Something like that. In Spanish, that sentence is ni siquiera me llamó. And for whatever reason, ni siquiera just doesn't roll off my tongue the same way. Like, it doesn't give me, I don't get that same like vibe of like, fuck everyone, you know what I mean? And like, it's also at the start of the sentence. It's not really my energy, you know? So in Spanish, I might just be like more direct. I might seem like more straightforward and less sassy, something like that, right? Or I have a friend who he's Latino, first language is Spanish, but somehow he's just like funnier in English. Like his jokes land more. I mean, maybe the way like jokes are set up just like float his boat more. I don't know, but like his humor in Spanish is dry as hell. So you are going to have a new personality in a new language. If you're noticing that the way you express yourself is different, you're not the only one. Yeah. But honestly, if you want some words to roll off your tongue, that is just gonna have to come with practice, because repetition is king. Okay, I feel like everyone already knows this when learning a language, but in case you needed a reminder, a little every day goes a long way. Okay, I know I was hating on Duolingo before, but like that, like 10-15 minutes, I mean, it can do something, you know what I mean? Sure. Muscle memory is a real thing. The more you practice stuff, the more you internalize them, the more you feel natural using them, all that stuff, right? So remember to practice as often as you can. Like sometimes when I'm watching TV, like I see a character I like, I'm like, I kind of want to sound like you. I would just like pause the thing and just repeat some of their lines, because that repetition, that reiteration, golden. Anyways, before we get into the final four, I just wanted to say hi. My name is OT. Nice to meet you. At the time of filming this video, I have a whopping 13 subscribers. Yes. Okay, and we are having a blast over here, all 13 of us. Okay, so make sure you subscribe and join the party, because FOMO is real. Do you want to miss out? I did not think so. Anyways, moving on to the 7th harsh truth. You are going to plateau a lot. Okay, and I have a graph to prove it, so let's get into this. So the vibe is, you're learning the language, you know, it's kind of tough, but you're sticking with it. Like you're learning your past tense, present tense, you know, you're learning how to order meals. And then at some point, like, it clicks and you're like, okay, I'm vibing with this. So now you're coasting, right? You're doing the thing, you're feeling confident, everything. But after some time, you realize that there's more to life than I want chicken. So maybe you start learning a new sentence structure, like more complicated, like grammar, things like that. And again, eventually it clicks. So you're like, oh, wait, I got this. Then again, you reach this point where you're like practicing what you know, but now it feels like you're not learning anything new. These are the plateaus, right? There's gonna be a lot of times where you feel like, you know, you've tried your best and you thought you would be fluent by now, but it's just, you know, which honestly, let's even combine number 7 and number 8. Number 8 is fluency is a moving target, right? So the vibe is you plateau a lot, and then every time you reach a new like level, you realize like there's so much more to go still. So that's why like the idea of fluency is really just a vibe. There's no like actual destination, because again, the more you know you don't know. Like it's just this, it really gets philosophical deep. Like for me, you know, I'd be having my conversations, I'm like, hey, I do this thing, and then I like try to watch the news and I'm like, never mind, never spoken Spanish a day in my life, you know? So you are going to plateau a lot, but you're still learning. It might just not feel like it. And then fluency is a moving target, because every next level you get to, the more you're like, wait, shit, there's still so much more to go. Yikes. And another yikes is the fact that honestly, Spanish is like more than one language. It's technically like, the Spanish language is very robust already, but then when you start getting into how it's spoken across different countries, big yikes. And like the tea is, sometimes they don't even be understanding themselves. Like for example, Chilean Spanish can sound very different from like Mexican Spanish sometimes, because of the influences from like respective indigenous cultures in the land, things like that, the slang they use, like how they refer to different things. So I mean, I literally watched a video on YouTube where there was one guy from Chile, one guy from Mexico, born and raised, Spanish first language, and they speak English to each other. And someone was like, why? And they were like, we don't understand each other's Spanish. So sometimes they don't be understanding themselves. So okay, imagine your gringo ass trying to like keep up with all of them. Let's be serious. So picking one dialect, like that would help you stay focused. But in general, like low-key, you will get to a point where you would understand Spanish for the most part, and it's more about like using context clues. Like if you hear a slang you haven't heard before, like you know, just piece shit together. Like, what are we talking about? What could they be saying? How did they express it? Like, you know, did it give aggressive? Like, I be doing some mental gymnastics when I'm talking to some of these people, but it's all part of it. It's fun. And last but not the least, okay, let's end on a very wholesome note. It gets easier. Isn't that amazing? After a while, your brain is just gonna start vibing with the thing. Like there's sometimes I'll be talking and I like make a complex sentence without thinking. And I'm like, I totally just made that up. That's not real. But then I like go over it and I'm like, wait, everything was right. All my verbs, all my sentence structure. So yeah, there comes a point where things are just gonna start clicking. You're not really gonna have to like reference your brain as much, and it's just gonna be so much fun. So yeah, hold on, okay, keep up the good fight because it's all gonna be worth it. So yeah, if you wanna see how I got fluent-ish in Spanish, you definitely wanna check out this video because I break down my whole process. See you over there. Ciao.